Peter grabbed him by the hips and said, "Don't tempt me to throw you overboard." As we see Garry Kasparov, the Grand Chester founder. He doesn't know where he wants to move.
Wesley's offering to take a seat, I think, to play.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wesley was saying, "Go ahead, take a seat."
Yes. I think that's Magnus's seat, by the way.
Oh.
Yes, because Magnus is playing MVL, and there he is.
Just waiting.
It's a sequel, Magnus.
Yeah?
Do you mind?
Sure.
Sure. Sure means yes or no.
You mean the move or to make the move? Yeah.
Beat.
No, I play knight f3.
Yes. Good son.
And strategic opening.
I rozpoczęcie tego gongu prosimy Jana Grzegowska, zwycięzcę konkursu.
And the round begins.
And the round begins. Once again, because there's 5 games and they'll be playing so fast, we'll focus on one. If it fizzles out, we'll move. But the game we're going to focus on is Magnus versus MVL, knight f3, inviting an open Sicilian. Will Magnus play
Magnus
e4?
does not feel like he's in a rush.
He's not in a rush. c4.
Four.
Okay. So will we be seeing a e5? Yes.
E5's on the board.
Very, very popular system. I love playing this as white myself. I've a castle, play a2, a3, go for the b4 break, and try to sit on the d5 square. That's been my go-to plan forever and ever. Amen.
There's still a lot of theory here.
Absolutely.
Black knight usually goes to e7, correct?
Yes. Yes. It's a little bit more flexible, allows black on occasion to play for f7, f5. There we have it, a2, a3. Now the conventional story is you go rook b1. It's very vulnerable. If it was my turn, I could take and play knight b3, and you just tell me how you're going to defend c5. You're looking. It's not easy, Nasi. I mean, so already, and we could see, for example, after takes, knight takes b4, the bishop on g2, eyeballing this long diagonal. It's not
I feel
easy.
like Maxim needs to maybe sacrifice a pawn somewhere to try to create the counterplay on the king side. So maybe take on b4 and e4 or something really quickly.
Yes, just to break up White's strategy, which really rather plays itself. Again, White is looking to capture on c5, maybe play rook b5, maybe play knight b3, and just go for the queen side. In the meantime, with with White's king only protected by the bishop, you got to do something. But f4, nah, you just give up
I
the
like
e4.
e4 better.
I like e4, followed by these ideas of maybe even g5 with the idea e4 and f4. But yeah, and by the way, clock times?
Clock times, Maxim's down by 1 minute, so he has 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and Magnus has 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
A significant difference on the clock.
Definitely, and blitz time matters a lot. So
I really
there's
don't
no
like.
knight b6.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that you didn't want a weakness on c5, but
Oh,
this
it's
whole, this whole strategy of rook c8, the rook's not well placed here. First of all, there is that, and secondly, that just pulls your pieces away from your whole e4. So here, a move like e3, I find very flexible. I love rook b6.
Rook b6 looks very good.
In terms of basketball terms, posting up, very nice.
And here we go, Maxim playing h5, trying to create some counterplay on the king side.
Again,
It will not be easy.
yeah, but I don't like this move because it invites the answer knight f3, threatening knight g5. You're virtually forced to play bishop h6, and
Do you
again,
think Magnus should play h4 now, or is it unnecessary?
I'm thinking I just want to defend d5, so I probably will start with the move. I don't want to see bishop takes and the diagonal being closed. So I'm thinking rook to b5, possibly knight e1, knight b3, and knight c2 and knight b4. But I'm thinking rook b5 for the moment.
There is a very nice tactic there, Yasser.
Please.
If you play h4 here,
Yes.
it's a very good move actually to control the g5. And if you take on
Really?
d5,
Yeah?
knight takes e5.
Sweet. So h4.
Which he
and
played.
guess what? He spotted the tactic. Bishop takes d5, knight takes e5, followed by bishop takes d5, and
Maxim, of
how
course,
sweet
avoids
it is. And he avoided it. And
Yes.
now we have rook
Yeah.
b5.
He's playing all of our moves.
These guys are good. I keep emphasizing it. I didn't really see the difference between playing h4. I thought rook b5, and you can always play h4.
Black would probably immediately go g5. So
Ooh.
Magnus just wants to shut it down completely.
I'm not sure. G5, H4, G5, G4, knight G5. I love this. What is white doing? White is ready to go rook B5, queen B3. I mean, triple and force. It's just not going well for.
How should white deal with this d5 issue right now?
You take on E7.
We take. Because we
Yes.
do have knight b6 option.
Yeah, I feel like every time I trade off a defender of the d5 square, this bishop will not be able to defend the d5 square. So I feel I'm getting it. I was going to say I like trading and then following it up with queen b3 and keeping the diagonal open.
Yeah,
Not
queen
that
b3,
white.
Doing
not-
two things at once, defending d5 and preparing rook b1.
Yeah, but at the same time, this bishop on g2 is a little bit crying. Okay, I get it. You can play now knight d2 and knight c4.
Nice square for the knight, attacking
Gorgeous square.
d6.
Yeah, gorgeous square for the knight. Seriously, Var, this feels like play on one goal. And where is Maxime? There's no counterplay.
Maxim
in the
is in
position.
big trouble. I think this is just losing position. Knight is going to come to c4, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
The other rook will come to b1, and eventually I think one of the spawns will fall on b7 or d6 here. It's extremely passive position, and even the move f4 that you're going to try to do, you have to be very careful because sometimes that will allow the move bishop h3, bishop e6 later on as well, and that will be devastating if the bishop gets on e6.
True that.
So very, very passive position, and according to engines, this is just winning for white.
Yeah, knight d2, easy play. Bit surprising that Magnus is thinking. The only reason I can imagine him thinking is he's contemplating playing d4 or even possibly playing e4 for the
E4.
reasons
E4 is very strong here.
e4, possibly for the reasons you were just mentioning, bishop h3, but he falls back on. I mean, I would find this move so compelling. The knight looks, I mean, just compare knights. I mean, you know, the knights
Yeah.
speak for themselves.
They do. And Maxim has minute and 5 seconds now. Magnus 1 minute and 20 seconds.
I love what Var was saying. E4, bishop h3, bringing that bishop into the play on the
Improving
diagonal.
our bishop. He starts with bishop h3.
Love it.
e4 will be coming.
Love it. Always look, pardon me, always look at your pieces and say, how can I improve them? Bishop on g2 defends the king is very nice, but the king is not under attack. And whereas you put the bishop on h3, you follow it up with e4, and your bishop is immediately put to work. If you wanted to play rook b1, you've got my vote. There is a slight possibility that the move f2, f4 could be compelling, and that's why I don't think Magnus wanted to commit himself.
I think the key point is after we play e4, if we manage to open up this diagonal, but he just played e4, yeah, we would be taking the knight on c8, and then d6 and b7 would just fall.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And here it looks like d6 is under a lot of pressure.
Right.
It's rook b6 next if needed.
Rook b6, knight
If
c8.
needed.
Right, but this move, just cozying up to the b pawn, really asks a very salient question. What are you going to do? And, well, there wasn't much for MVL to do. He's holding, Var.
Yes.
How do you breach Black's defenses? Do you play for queen b2 and f4? Do you play to create a weakness on,
Plays rook a5, very good.
breaking through on the A file, maybe.
Yeah, now rook b1 will come as well. And by the way, guys, Duda is about to lose his first game, and that will be a big result. If Magnus wins now, it will be only 2 points difference between him and Duda.
Wow.
Commentators curse.
Wesley drew his game against Wojtaszek.
Okay,
Alright.
and by the way, Magnus has made some very, very serious inroads. I mentioned a moment ago that the rook has uses on f1.
Right.
Suddenly,
It's smart to
yes,
keep one piece near the king to defend everything on the king side, and looks like white's queen and knight will just pick up everything on the queen side.
it sure does. And there goes that d6 pawn. We spoke about it. And Magnus is like, what's better than being one pawn up?
Being up 2 pawns.
There you go. F4. And this is basically a Hail Mary.
And
I
Bill's
mean,
down to 9 seconds. And
you-
to remind everyone, they only have 2-second increment.
Exactly. Takes. There goes the queen trade.
We have opposite color bishops, but
2 extra
2
pawns.
extra pawns, and we have other pieces on the board.
Exactly. Now here, rook f7. Ooh, even
D6.
better. Even better.
I mean,
Magnus is
Magnus'
playing just a
technique is just incredible.
superb. He really is playing a superb game at the moment.
So now just rook f7 looks very tempting, right?
Oh, definitely. Rook f7 with the idea knight e8, knight e6. Now you can play,
MVL 5 seconds,
yeah, but
Magnus 15 seconds.
you gotta like the spike check. King
Yeah, I think we're
f1.
a few moves away from resigning, right?
Yeah, we're just making sure there's no perpetuals, but
And there we
yeah.
go.
Sorry,
Great game.
but great game, but I really want to say